And we are live. What is up, everyone? Just realized I forgot to adjust something in my audio properties. Give me just a second while I fix this. Then I'll do an official introduction. All right, hopefully that fixed it. I had to fix my audio offset from when I was on stream with the one and only John Hammond, just because I record my screen and do the audio, and so I have to adjust the offset when I do interviews, and I forgot to change it back. Hey, if y'all can let me know if my lips match up with the words, that would be awesome, because that's what I had to adjust and forgot to switch back. But either way, yo, welcome everyone to Hack Smarter Live. My name is Tyler Ramsbey. I am your host, and yo, it is an honor to have you taking the time to hang out with me. I have been gone, if you did not notice, for about a week. I did release some videos last week, but I was not live, and the reason for that is I was on PTO for the past week visiting family in another state. Just got back and got back to work today. Today is my first day back to work, and now it's back to the streaming grind. So it's good to have you hanging out with me. I want to say hello to all of you joining me live as it happens, saying hello to everybody on YouTube, everybody on LinkedIn, and everybody on Twitch. And I do want to let you know, if you weren't already aware, I am live streaming to 3 different platforms. So you're welcome to join on whichever platform works best for you, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitch. Let me make sure everything looks good in all the different spots. Yep, all right, everything looks good. My cat keeps meowing at me. Cat, quiet. We're streaming, bruh. Go to sleep or something. I swear, the 1 hour a day my cat's awake is when I'm talking to my microphone, and then he goes to sleep. But when I'm talking to my microphone, he decides it's time to be awake and to get into crap and to meow and make noise. But we'll just go with it. All right, y'all, so here's the plan for today. We're going to start out with some Pone Labs, which I'm excited to dig into. And to do that, I will start recording. If you're new here, here's how it kind of works. Like, as the live audience, you get some unique perks. I often stop at the end of labs. We'll do Q&A, kind of hang out together. But I'm also making YouTube videos as we're live. So I'll start recording over in OBS, do another welcome, and that's the YouTube video. And I do my YouTube videos in one take. We just kind of wing it, hope it goes well. Sometimes it goes well and it gets posted. Other times it doesn't go well and it doesn't get posted. But it's kind of like you're at the filming of a live show. So truly, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me. Master Zeus said, nice background. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, my awesome artwork is from my kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, and so they have made some sweet artwork for my backdrop. Cooler than everybody else's backdrop, in my humble opinion. Over on YouTube, we got Troy, BD, Dario, Tony. Thank you all for the kind words. We got Overgrown Carrot, Ord7, Herdsec, Master Zeus over on Twitch, and it looks like quite a few others who just haven't said anything in the chat, and also a lot of people on LinkedIn who haven't said anything in the chat. It looks like we're at almost 40 people across the 3 platforms. So, yo, thank you all for taking the time to hang out with me. I'm going to go ahead and start recording and do a welcome for the YouTube crowd, and then we will dive in. All right, let me start recording. Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and in this video, we're going to continue our series going through all the really cool labs by Pon Labs. Now, if you've never heard of Pon Labs, you need to check them out. Pon Labs is sort of like the Try Hack Me or the Hack the Box, but for the cloud. They have bite-sized CTF challenges that cover Azure, AWS, and GCP. They have over 30 completely free labs. No subscription required. You can work through those 30 free labs with no subscription, but if you want to get access to all the really cool stuff, at least in my opinion, you can get a subscription. But here's the coolest thing. It's super affordable. So if you look at other platforms, in order to do like their cloud challenges, you generally need a business or enterprise license. You need to spend hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars just to get access. Well, on Pone Labs, it's only $20 a month, or I think a little bit cheaper if you do the yearly plan, and then you get access to everything across the platform, all the premium labs. So I've been showcasing Pone Labs because I think it is the best platform out there right now for learning hands-on cloud pen testing. I've done some Azure labs. We're working through AWS labs. So we're going to continue that today. And we're going to go through a lab about an organization that's actually been in the news lately. And it's a lab about poning TeamCity in the cloud. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll share my screen. Here we go. So poning TeamCity in the cloud. TeamCity, if we look this up, is by JetBrains. So I'm curious, has anyone seen kind of the beef between JetBrains and Rapid7 lately? If you pay attention to the news at all, you'll know this. but I haven't even played around with this new CVE, but I thought, hey, I wonder if it works on this lab. Not intentionally, of course, but Rapid7 throws JetBrains under the bus for uncoordinated vulnerability disclosure. So Security Shop Rapid7 is criticizing JetBrains for flouting his policy against silent patching regarding fixes for 2 fresh vulnerabilities in TeamCity CI/CD server. Rapid7 says it reported the 2 TeamCity vulnerabilities in mid-Feb, claiming JetBrains soon after suggested releasing patches for the flaws before publicly disclosing them. Such a move is typically seen as a no-no by the InfoSec community, which favors transparency, but there's apparently a time and a place for these things. So, long story short, JetBrains patched it, and the very next day, Rapid7 released POCs for it. Threat actors use those POCs, customers' environments are compromised, and there's a lot of drama going on here. And looking over at Pone Labs, there's a lab all about poning TeamCity that released before, of course, all of this was cool. So I thought, hey, with everything going on in the news, let's go ahead and work through this lab together. It is an AWS lab, and also it is a premium lab. So if you do not have a premium sub to Pone Labs, well, first go get one. But if you don't have one, that's fine. You just have to live vicariously through me. The only downside is you cannot follow along with me, but you can work through it with me. You can watch what I am doing. But let's go ahead and dive into things. So Pone TeamCity in the cloud. The first thing we need to do is get our notes pulled up with Cherry Tree. And I don't know why Cherry Tree hates me and always does this. Is that our notes? I think so. There we go. Only on this VM do my settings reset every time. Anyone who knows this better than me, let me know what I'm doing wrong. Like on my other instance of Cherry Tree, I don't have to reset all these settings, but whatever. We'll just go with it. Not a big deal. Let's go and start a new Cherry node, and we'll call this TeamCity. There we go. Actually, I don't want that. Is it Alt F? Nope. What's the hotkey to change properties? Oh, F2. All right. All right, TeamCity. And we'll go ahead and grab our creds here. So we'll say credentials, access key, secret. Now, if you're new to AWS, this access key ID and the secret access key might look confusing at first, but think about it as like a username and a password. This access key ID is sort of like our username, and the secret access key is sort of like our password. What this allows us to do is interact with the AWS CLI or command line interface as this user. So we'll go ahead and grab this as kind of our starting point. So there's our access key ID, and we'll go ahead and grab our secret right here. There we go. And now let's go ahead and figure out what our scenario is. So if we scroll down, you'll see this as you work through Pone Labs. Some are suitable for a CTF or a black box approach, and others are made to be a guided mode. And what's cool about Pone Labs is they're very clear about whether or not it's suitable for CTF. This one says it is, so we'll give it a shot. And here is our scenario. I'll zoom in a little bit. In a red team operation for a huge logistics, our team managed to obtain AWS credentials through a phishing attack. With these keys in hand, your objective is clear. Delve deeper into the AWS infrastructure, find vulnerabilities, and escalate your privileges. Let's go ahead and grab that as our scenario information, and we'll drop that in there. And also, I'm just going to make these H1 just so it sticks out a little bit more. Okay. There we go. And also, forgot to tell you guys, happy to answer questions as we go. So if you have questions about something I'm doing, like something that's confusing, you're new to AWS, feel free to drop those questions in the chat and I'll answer them. Or if you have career questions, happy to answer those as we go. Kind of an informal time to hang out as we make this video. YN said, I'm 30. Hey, I am too. And just found out about IT pen testing / hacking. I have no degrees or certs, but I've just decided it's what I want to do. What do you think a good path to do for this is? Fine sounding money on cert. So if you want to break into the field, hands down, the OSCP is going to be the best way to go, which I hate saying that because I'm really not a fan of like the gatekeeping OffSec certifications, but truly, OSAP, or Offensive Security Certified Professional, if you want to be a pen tester, that is what's going to help open doors for you. That and like CVEs and things like that. But I would shoot for the OSAP. And if you're brand new, I would start out on TryHackMe. TryHackMe has some beginner paths to cybersecurity, and I would go through those first, YN. And I have a YouTube channel with like, I don't know, 300 plus videos now of me working through some of this stuff. So watch the videos, Google stuff you find confusing, and I think that will be a good starting point for you. Okay, well, we have these credentials. Let me show you how to configure them. First, let me go ahead and get on the VPN. I'll go over to download, sudo open VPN. I think it's called Pon Labs. There we go. And we are on the VPN. And we'll open a new one. We'll call it terminal. CD home. Tyler Pon Labs. Make directory for TeamCity. CD TeamCity. All right, now we can go ahead and configure these keys. And the way we're going to do that after installing the AWS CLI is to do AWS configure, and we'll just call this profile TeamCity. And our access key ID is, of course, right here. We'll drop that in. This one, we'll grab that. I don't know the region. We're just going to do US East 1 for now. And there we go. Now, what we can do first is do what is kind of a who am I, but in AWS terminology, just to see are our CRIDs valid. The way we can do that is AWS STS get caller identity profile, and ours is TeamCity. And there we go. So we're logged in. We authenticated as this K or Kai user from that phishing. So let's go ahead and grab this and just drop it in our notes. Right, we just want that information. I'm going to go ahead and add a code block to it. We'll do that. There we go. So that is our user. Whoops. And you know what I want to adjust real quick? Let's go to preferences, and let's just change the size of our code font. There we go. So we have access to this account, and we know that TeamCity is a CI/CD, or continual integration, continual delivery, which actually pairs well with some of the Try Hack Me rooms I've been doing previously. If you look at my YouTube channel, we did some CI/CD exploits and vulnerability stuff. So we know this is likely running in an EC2, but let me show you a few different ways that we can figure out our permissions. So one is, hey, if we think it might be running in EC2, and let me back up a little bit because I recognize AWS terminology is super confusing. They don't call things by normal names such as virtual machines. Instead, they call them EC2s. So when you hear the term EC2, I'll just type it here. That's what it looks like. EC2, I want you to think of a virtual machine or a server. So EC2s are like virtual machines or servers in the AWS environment. Now, TeamCity is a CI/CD, continual integration, continual delivery software for developers to push changes. So this is a software that's likely running on a virtual machine or a server. So one thing we can try right away, and I don't know if I remember the syntax off the top of my head, but I think it's AWS EC2, yeah, describe instances, profile, and we'll do TeamCity and region. Well, we'll just see if anything's in US East 1. And it's not, but what that tells me is we have permissions to describe instances. So with that information, what we can do is load up a tool called Paku. Paku is sort of like a Metasploit for the cloud. It's developed by the greatest pen testing company on the planet called Rhino Security Labs, which is where I work. And we're going to open up Paku. If you just Google it, you can figure out how to install it. It's super easy to install. You can start with just pip install Paku. But let's go ahead and do a new session. And we'll call this one TeamCity. And now we need to import our keys, and the name of our profile is TeamCity. So there we go right there. And now if we do search, I think it's search EC2, we have EC2 enum. What this will do is it will try to enumerate all the EC2 instances in all of the different regions. So we can figure out, hey, where is this EC2 located at? So I'm going to do run EC2 __ enum like that and hit enter. And it's going to say, hey, do you want to do all of these? And we'll just say, yeah, YOLO. Let's see what happens. And it will take a little bit for it to go through. We'll see if it finds anything. And while it goes, let me look over at chat. Wyan said, thanks. You've inspired me to get into this. Thanks for the great work. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate the kind words. Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Good to have you here. Kelvin said, hey, Tyler, just curious to know how often you do cloud pen testing or come across exploit in the cloud. Pretty often. It all depends on what firm you work for. But for I work at Rhino, since we're known for things like AWS, it's one of our most popular assessment types. So I've actually been doing back-to-back AWS pen tests in my day job. So I've been doing it pretty often. GoPro Slow Yo over on Twitch said, how noisy is Paku? I feel like that would trigger most socks that are actually paying attention. Oh yeah, absolutely it would. So That's the whole difference, y'all, between a pen test and a red team engagement. I've shared this a few times, but on a pen test, generally speaking, a pen test is time limited. You might have 5 days, you might have 10 days, and the goal is not to be stealthy. The goal is to find as many vulnerabilities as you can in their environment, and the SOC knows you're doing it. They're not trying to detect you, they're aware of you. So then you're fine using tools like Paku to enumerate tools like Prowler is another popular tool to enumerate when you're doing a pen test. But when you're doing a red team engagement, that's where you have to really be worried about stealth. But I'm not a red teamer, at least not yet. I do pen testing. So for a pen test, things like Paku, it doesn't matter if it's noisy. But yes, it absolutely is noisy. Because as you can imagine, I'm just refreshing LinkedIn to make sure I'm not missing anything. As you can imagine, what's going on here is in the background, it's making API requests to the AWS environment. See, it's done. It's making API requests. So if you're looking at logs, you would see this over and over and over again. All these API requests happening all at once. So it'd be very quickly to see, oh, someone is enumerating our environment. You can say we have one instance that's found, but then it poses the question, how do we figure out that data? Well, let's open up a new tab. We can just keep this one here. We'll rename this one Paku. And if we open a new tab, we can do Paku, and then we want to specify our session. Remember, we called it TeamCity, and then data, and what kind of data? Well, we just enumerated EC2 data, so we'll do that. And you can see we have some information there. We can make it even cleaner if we do that, grep-i. So grep, for those of you who might be new to Linux, is kind of like a search. Search through this results and find this keyword. The -i means case insensitive. So whether it's capital or lowercase, still find it. And we'll just call it like IP address like that. Okay, there we go. So we have one EC2 and we have the private IP address. So let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of this, which I just realized I don't have my screenshot tool open on my host machine. Let me get that open. And there we go. We'll go ahead and grab a screenshot of this. And we'll just highlight, here's our IP, Control C, pull up our notes, and there we go. We found an EC2, and we will go ahead and begin kind of poking at this. Now, this is a private IP, but if you remember, we are on the VPN. So let's see if we can ping it. And we can ping it, okay. So far, so good. So now that we have an IP of an EC2, we want to think about our general methodology for approaching an IP, whether it's an external network engagement or an internal network engagement when you're approaching a host. One of the first things you want to do is scan the host. You can use things like Nessus, Nmap, Rust scan. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So we'll go ahead and clear this and we'll do Rust scan. -a is our target. And then this is something I learned. I just started using Rust scan because I like that it's fast. But the cool thing about Rust scan is what this is going to do. It's going to run Rust scan. We're going to pass it our target. This is our target IP. And now this -- and then -a, this is actually something I'm passing it for Nmap. So what it will do is it will run Rust scan first to figure out the open ports. And then it will run a traditional Nmap scan against it, which with the --A flag, which means throw all the enumeration scripts at whatever ports are open. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll hit enter. And you can see we have port 22 and port 81111 and 32957. Give us some time. It shouldn't take too long. Looking over at chat, Gromit said, so to use Paku, do you need authorization? No, not necessarily. There's some things you can do unauthenticated, but because I already have authorization, that's why I'm importing my keys. But not all the modules require authentication. Tony said, what screenshot tool am I using? I am using Lightshot. Okay. So here we go. We have some information back here. This probably just goes with that service. We'll kind of ignore that one. It probably goes with 8111. But here we go. We have some information. Let's go ahead and grab this right here. We'll copy that. Come back over to our notes. And we will drop that in here. And I'm just going to add some. There's a little fly flying around. Silly fly. Killing bugs all over. I kill software bugs and I kill real bugs. We'll do that just to make it look a little bit cleaner. And then to keep our notes organized, I like to do separate tabs for each service that's running. So let's do a sub tab. We'll call it SSH. Specify the port number. Drop that in there. And now this is a web server. I'm guessing this is the TeamCity instance. So we'll grab that. Same thing. We'll do HTTP 8111, I think is what it was, right? There we go. And now SSH or secure shell, this will be handy if we can get some type of credentials to it, or maybe RCE and we can add credentials to it. But for now, SSH isn't useful to us until we get to a spot that we can get access to it. But let's see what the heck is running on port 81111. We'll go ahead and just look in our regular browser. And I don't even have the IP. What's our IP that we're poking at? 62.069. Oh, geez, I can't even. Yeah, I just looked at it and I can't remember. 10.62. Gosh, my memory's terrible. 62. Okay, that's cool. 10.62.0.69.8111. Is that the right IP? Yeah. Okay, and we are prompted to log into TeamCity. So I'm going to grab a screenshot of this. And we will drop it in our notes right here. Right, so with this on the login screen, I mean, there's a few things that we could do. If we can find some possible credentials, we'll just call this like a to-do list. Here's what I do. Research exploits for TeamCity. And I know the latest one in the news is an auth bypass, but I think there's some other auth bypasses as well. You can see we have version information there, so we'll just add that there. So it's version 2023.05.1. And we can also try like SQL injection, but I doubt that's going to work. SQL/no SQL injection if we can't find anything else. We could try. My cat's me. What up, cat? You want to be on stream? If we can find a valid username like admin, we could try password spraying, maybe with Rocky and Hydra. But I think our best bet is researching TeamCity exploits, specifically such as an auth bypass. Let me pause real quick. I see we have some questions over in chat. Buskley Foot. As someone who is currently a security analyst for a company, do you think OSCP would be needed to do pen tests for the company? I'm saying this as I'm looking into getting a pen test and potentially doing it for the company in the future. I mean, you'd have to talk to the company. I don't think it'd be required, but OSCP is still the gold standard for pen testing, opens a lot of doors. But since you already have your foot in the door, you may not need it. It all kind of depends on your company culture. I would talk to your security team. What, cat? You want to be on stream? You can jump on my lap if you want, but we hacking, cat. Quit talking. Start your own Twitch channel if you want to talk. Yeah, you'd probably get. He said you get more viewers than me. You probably would, cat. All right, let's go ahead and do some research on this. And we have like these exploits that JetBrains, or the heck their name is losing their minds about. Let's look this up. And we'll see if there's just anything on GitHub. Hi, cat. Anyone want to say hi to my cat? He wants to be on stream. Here, cat. Everyone tell him hi. You gotta look at the camera, cat. There you go. You sit on my lap? Okay, you can. Just don't touch my keyboard. I don't know what it is about cats, yo. They're like content to do their own thing until you're like talking. Then they want to hang out with you. All right, back to this. All right, this script is designed to demonstrate a potential exploit on TeamCity servers by attempting RCE through exposed REST APIs. It includes functionality to add users to system admin roles and execute commands remotely. And this is one of the new ones, right? Yeah, this is one of the ones that they're freaking out about. So, features: add a user, create a new user with random creds and system admin role. Execute command, attempts to execute a command on the TeamCity server through an interactive shell. Only available with URL after adding a user, which I think with TeamCity we can just honestly access a terminal once we get to that point. Cat's purring. I don't know if you guys can hear him. I'm going to turn to an ASMR show with a purring cat. I might get more viewers. Batch processing scans a list of URLs, so that's like if we have a bunch of them we want to check. So how to do it on a single target. Let's give this a shot. All right, so what we're going to do is go here, copy this, open my terminal. And we'll do git clone that. Okay, so we'll do Python 3 exploit.py. Yo, cat, you can't lay in my arm, bro. I gotta move my arm around while I hack. URL, and we'll grab our URL right here. My cat is trying to eat my microphone. Stop it, cat. All right. I wonder if we have to specify the port, if it will work that way. And we'll go ahead and just try to add a user. Oh, okay. Okay, cat, you can't bite me if you're going to be in my lap. From a live progress, import a live bar. We probably don't even need that. Looks like I can install it, though. We'll see if this works. Boom. Well, it created a user. Let's see if this works. So here's our random user. We'll copy this. Paste it in there. Copy this. Paste it in there and hit login. Seems like it's working. It's thinking. It's spinning. What's going to happen? Doo-doo, doo-doo. Boom! And we have access using the latest CVE, which is in the news right now that everybody's arguing about. So it's kind of fun that we got to use the latest CVE on this machine. Let me check out chat. The Pun House said, I'd also recommend Virtual Hacking Lab. They're very similar to OCP for about $100. You get training materials that are also very similar. Cool. You know, I've never checked out Virtual Hacking Lab myself. I have to check it out. Otherwise, yeah, TCM security stuff is awesome. So is Try Hack Me and Hack the Box Academy. And Pone Labs, of course, if you want to do cloud stuff. What up, Nox Lumens? Good to have you here, my friend. But here we go. We have initial access. Let's grab screenshots of what we've done for our notes. If we're doing this for an actual pen test, we want to make sure we are documenting what we are doing and how we got access to it. And that was not the right screenshot tool. Oh, no. Oh, no. Can you guys still hear me? My VM just froze up. Of course, the VM freezes up while I'm live on stream. You see that it's completely frozen. Give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this. Might have to see if I can get control of it. Nope, it's completely frozen. I have no idea why it froze up there, but should be easy to pick up where we left off. Let me just boot my VM back up and we'll start over. I don't know why it froze. I have no idea why that happened. I think my cat, so I kicked my cat off my lap after he bit me, and he's mad at me, and he's such a powerful hacker. From over there, he's eating food right now, I think. Out of anger, he DDoSed my VM and broke it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. All right, y'all. You'll just have to bear with me. Shouldn't take me that long to get everything booted back up. Do. Switch. Let me get back on the VPN. I'll share my screen in just a moment. All right, let me see if I'm still authenticated. The only other thing I can think of is I recently updated to the latest version of Kali. So unless something bugged out with the update, but I think it was just a one-time thing. I think we're good. I'm getting back to the lab, and then I'll share my screen. Pone TeamCity in the cloud. Play lab. All right, we're back in business. I wonder if my Cherry note saved automatically. Of course, it didn't save the freaking format. Yeah, we're good. Everything's still here. Let me just fix my preferences again because Cherry Tree hates me. I mean, isn't that hard to fix it? But it is annoying. Like, the freak do I have to do this every time, Cherry Tree? Don't suck at life. Know what I mean? Hey, and I still have my screenshot right there. Beautiful. So that's how we got initial access. Let me go ahead and see if we can jump into that now. 62.0.69. And we're even still authenticated, so beautiful. We are in, and I do want to take a screenshot of that, just that we have access. And we should also, if we're doing this for an actual pen test, we would want to include the specific exploit that we used. And you generally don't want to just fire off exploits from GitHub, but because this is just a CTF, that's why I wasn't too worried. Although I think this is a legit above board exploit, so we'll copy that information there. And there we go. We have initial access to it. Now, if you know about CI/CD, or continuous integration, continuous delivery platforms, RCE is often RCE as a feature. You can usually do various forms of RCE this way. And if I might just have to click around for a little bit, let's explore and see what we can find. So we have projects here, we have all builds, we have some global settings. Let's check this out. What about authentication? Okay. Let's go to projects. What's initial setup check? How about agents? I'm pretty sure there's like a legit terminal. Might take me a little bit to find though. What's this? No. Telling y'all, there's a terminal you can pull up and you have like a shell as a feature. I just don't remember where it's at. We can install tools. I mean, I get RCE a different way, I'm sure, but this is a cooler way. Let's try project. So we have this initial setup check. Let's click this project. Let's go to connections. Oh, we have some. Can we actually see our access key? Let's check this out. No, okay, we can't see it. Do we have SSH keys? Oh, shoot. We can upload an SSH key? Let's come back to that if I can't figure out where my terminal thing is at. VCS roots, general settings, description, blah, 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 build configuration. Where is this? Okay, let me see if I can just find it. TeamCity terminal. Specify blah blah. You can pull up a agent terminal. Maybe this is what I want. Yeah, here's what I'm looking for. Introducing agent terminals in TeamCity. Please just tell me how to do it. Open terminal. How do I do that? With the help of the agent terminal, you can investigate what is exactly happening. So, where are they at here? Pools. Could have swore I discovered this before. Let me keep looking around. So, did they just click agents? Open terminal. Hey! Let's see what this does. Yeah, so like, look, we have terminal access. And now, remember if we go back to our notes, SSH is enabled. Can I, do something like, whoops. So what if I make directory SSH? Okay. Oh, we already have that. Authorized keys. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's go ahead and try this. If I cat home Tyler SSH, let's grab my public key right here, copy it, and we'll try to echo. Whoops. Echo that into, or append, all right, now let's see if it's there. Cat authorized keys. Okay, and now my key is there. So now if I SSH as root at whatever this IP is, and it should automatically use my key. Fingers crossed. Boom, I have access to this root. Okay, sweet. Now, I actually want to see, after I complete the lab, I want to try a few other things as far as these SSH keys work. But what are we supposed to do? We have this TeamCity Backup latest SQL. I don't really know if that's helpful for us. One thing that we can do, here, let me just read about TeamCity. We have this build server. Something that stands out to me, the rest of it is pretty normal. We have this TeamCity Backup that might be interesting to us as well. We can go ahead and cd over to build server. Okay, we have backup config lib plugin system, so maybe config. Auth config sounds interesting. Backup config also sounds interesting. If we cat auth config.xml. Okay, no, this is just like the configuration for authorization, saying it allows basic HTTP. Internal properties, main config. What else was there? So there's that .zip file. I mean, that might be helpful. Maybe there's AWS creds in here somewhere. I'm gonna kind of peek around at stuff. All right, let me read the docs, shall we? TeamCity AWS connection credentials. All right, we saw that there was this AWS connection when we were in here. I think I went to, what was it, administration? Maybe it was the project. I found a spot where it talked about an AWS connection. Maybe it's connections right here. The static IAM access key. Oh. So we have an access key ID here, which is that different than what we already have access to? SOG. That is. Okay. Let me just, we have root access. The other thing I'm thinking is maybe we can do SSRF in the EC2 and see if there is an IAM associated with our EC2. But first, let's follow this rabbit hole for now, because this looks like it might be promising. I'm going to grab a screenshot of that, and we'll just drop it in there, and then access key ID. We'll just go ahead and grab that. But now this, can we inspect it? Okay. It's like if, so it's encrypted. And, oh, but it gives us the encrypted value though. Hold up. No, that's not the encrypted value. Oh, there it is. So there is our encrypted value. Let me copy that. So it's encrypting the AWS secret access key right here, as you can see. We have our value there. So then we have to figure out, how does TeamCity encrypt this stuff? Before we do that, let me check one other thing. Since we know we have RC, like I have a full shell right here. What if we try this and see if there's any IAM credentials attached to it? So we'll try a curl request to this endpoint. What this is an AWS specific endpoint that stores things like user data. And sometimes when an EC2 is spun up, an IAM identity is associated with that EC2. And if that's the case, we can actually authenticate to the AWS environment as the EC2, and we might have different privileges. So we'll do curl. Okay, so not looking promising. So we do have metadata, but you can see we don't have IAM anywhere here. We have identity credentials, but that's going to be different. Oh, it says security credentials. Security credentials. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. So I don't think that's going to be the way in. We have to figure out how to decrypt this. So let's do some research. TeamCity AWS key decryption. All right, I need to pull the value of the password which is defined in TeamCity. Currently, I use the secrets.yaml to store the passwords. For implementing it, I've converted the password into 64-bit code value. Seems very difficult. Do we have any options? Blah, blah, blah. So I understand instead of data, you need to work with string data. That's not really what I'm trying to do. Do. What if I rotate the key? Well, I don't want to rotate the key. At least I don't have. If I rotate the key from TeamCity, all it's going to do is change. Here's a poem that I was posted about it. Learn to decrypt TeamCity secrets. You know, so that's a pretty good hint that I'm looking at the right thing. If we rotate the key, we actually want that key, because if we rotate the key, we could just change it to our current access. But we want to get access to whatever AWS instance is controlling this. We need to decrypt TeamCity secrets. Maybe that's decrypt TeamCity secrets. Okay, that looks promising. That looks promising. Unscrambler? Doesn't even tell me what it does. So we need to pass this script an argument. You can see that we have an argument 1, and that's the key. Let's keep that open. Wait, what? All right. Trying to wrap my head around exactly how secure the storage of password type parameters in TeamCity is. Blah, 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 blah. Try to avoid having to store passwords if passwords to be stored. Okay, that's not helpful. This is that script, similar script. Oh, hard-coded decryption key. That's pretty old, written in Python too. Oh, this is just how you obfuscate it. Oh, display it. Wait, can I do this? Display value of a password in the TeamCity UI. Select the attribute. Oh, I don't think this will work for me because this isn't really how it's being done. Version disclosure. That's a really old version of Nginx. Whoever exotrade.com is, they want to update that. What up, Eldritch? This is script. Okay. It's like a PowerPoint. Let's see if this helps us. Because it's one of the few things talking about TeamCity. Scroll down to TeamCity. Okay. Default server listens on port 8111, which we know. Users forced to choose an admin. Well, we did auth bypass. I'll use inherit. Okay. Oh, this is a default config. Let's go down to... All right, I'm just going to control F to TeamCity. Okay. TeamCity treats credential file, say an SSH key, different than credential strings. Got it? Credential files are unencrypted. Credential strings are triple des encrypted, then base 64 encoded. Okay. Here's an example of decryption key. Oh. Do they all use the same decryption key? I mean, I might have to look at the official walkthrough here to figure out. Unless it's just that hard-coded decryption key. But I feel like that is an older version of TeamCity than what we are using right now. I don't think this is going to run. We'll have to convert it to Python 3, I would think. What is this? Something. TeamCity is blanking. To see if this even runs. Okay, let me show you guys a sweet trick. Share my screen just for a second while I authenticate. Or not my screen, my face rather. I'm already authenticated. We'll make ChatGPT convert it for us because, you know, use AI when you can. Even then, I don't think that's going to work. Like, I think it said it was hard-coded up to a certain version. Last few years at least. But this came out in 2017. And we're not on an old version of TeamCity. I am assuming TeamCity fixed this. But I don't know how to find... I don't know how to find the new one. We'll try it, though. We'll just see what happens. Do. Come on, ChatGPT, you're being slow. In the meantime, let's keep looking through stuff. Oh. Hold up. Is there a Hack the Box machine similar to this? Hold up. What are we doing on this machine? I wonder if they have to do something similar here. Test. It's not much interesting. However, in looking around, there's a JetBrains TeamCity located there. There's a folder named Changes. And okay, I think this is different. Oh, you just watched my video on Windows 11? Hey, well, thank you for watching it. You don't have to tell me it doesn't work like everybody else. AV evasion is always a cat and mouse game, right? So when you discover a way to evade antivirus and you release it publicly, it's going to get burned in a couple of weeks. So it was just like an example of some ways you could do it, but not currently working because, you know, Windows is like, yo, Tyler released this. We should probably patch it. And they did. They did patch it. They didn't pay me any money either. Like, come on, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and give this a shot, I guess. Let's see if that works. Don't know why that would matter. Okay, that's not going to work. And once again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to get this to work because this is from 2017. I guarantee you they've changed it by now. Let me go back to this. Oh, here's something. That's just version information. What if we... See if I can grab my way through here. Okay, maybe I need to be a little more clear about what access kind of things I'm looking for. Yeah. I got you. Stop. So here's where it talks about the access key ID. But still doesn't really help us. Wow. Matches access key, AWS access key ID. Java. I have to figure out how TeamCity is decrypting this. Okay, that's not going to be helpful. All right. Back to Google, y'all. We need to see if we can figure this out. TeamCity secret decryption. A lot of hacking, I was just Googling and reading. There's that Pon Labs post. Geez, I'm just not sure where the docs are that talk about how to decrypt it. I assumed it would be a lot easier or a lot more obvious. Let's check this out. I might have to go to like the second page of Google or something. What's this? Yeah. We just did that. We literally just abused one of these. Let's close that out. Okay. Is that all? Is that the only information we have on TeamCity? Yeah. Wow. Use of a broke before 2021.1. And what kind do we have? 2023. Yeah, so like that hard-coded encryption or decryption key, I'm pretty sure this is what this is talking about, does not apply to what we're looking at now. So there's a different way of doing this. I have root on the EC2. That should count for something. I think I'm going to end up looking at the official walkthrough. I know what I need to do. We need to decrypt the secret. And then that's going to be the secret key that we need for an AWS account that will probably contain the final flag in like an S3 bucket. But how the frick are you supposed to find it? And you have this exfiltrated thing where he talks about it. But that's like the only one I saw, and that's from 2017. Does my Googling skills suck? TeamCity decryption. Let's try that. Let me read through the docs. Okay. Strong credentials. Consider disabling super user access. To store passwords or secure data in team settings, you are strongly advised to use the type passwords. This will make sure they never appear in the web UI and are masked with asterisks, which is what they must have done. Passwords that are necessary to authenticate, like VCS issue trackers, are stored in a scrambled form in the TeamCity data directory. It can also be stored in the database. However, the values are scrambled, which means they can be retrieved by a user who has access to the server file system. I do! Instead of the default. TeamCity data directory is the directory in the file system used by the TeamCity server. The build history, users and data, some of the data stored in the database. See notes on back. Builds. Okay. There's that build server. Currently used data directory can be seen on the administration global setting page. Administration global settings page. Administration global settings page. There's our data directory. New to used by a server artifacts for our new builds are published under the first directory in the list. Oops. Click in the browse link, opens new or okay. Oh, look, you can actually see it from here. And this is what I'm looking at. All right, very interesting. I don't know if this is what I'm looking for, but we're learning something in the process, right? Let's check out this backup file. Copy from home, Tyler, downloads. Was that TeamCity? Yeah. Oh, no, that unpacked a lot of crap. Do you guys see anything called like decryption keys? So this is like agent information. So that's what I already have here. So that's that backup file. It's just a backup of this. Here's that project though that's in there. Maybe it's specific to the project. Oh shoot, there's that access key ID. Encrypt. Has a ZXXD. Okay, this looks interesting for sure. Let me compare some things. So this is different than this, but this is not a valid access key. We have the ZXX. Seems to be something to do with the encryption. All right, chat, y'all. Let me know what Newbury I'm missing. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me keep reading through the documentation. So we found our project ID. Can be created, build numbers, build types, plug in data. Database properties, license keys, internal properties. There must be a way to decrypt that. And that's like the missing piece of research that I don't have. Let's go to TeamCity Decryption GitHub. Did you try this one? Let me check Nefos. Oh, sorry, Nefos, it blocked your message. Oh no, that closed out. Shoot. That closed out Twitch. 1 second, let me open a new tab. Alright, so this is what Nefos said to try out. Yeah, but it needs a key. I did see that one, but you see it accepts an argument for a key or a ciphertext. I don't know what key to pass in there. You know what I mean? Or is that... Oh, wait. No, that's a ciphertext. That's my... Is that this? Why can't I install that module? Oh, okay, I see. Uninstall the incorrect install PyCrypto DOM. Update your script to import. Strip says it's wrong. Well, alright. Let's see if ChatGPT knows what he's talking about, shall we? Now let's just try to run it once. Gosh dang it. Yeah, that won't work either. I don't know what the frick. Oh, good call. Good call. All right, let's do that. Oh, okay. TeamCity. All right, so let's grab this from freaking 7 years ago. Can I use pipx? Oh, do I not have pipx installed? Let me install this real quick. That's how I like to do my virtual Python environments just because I'm a noob. Otherwise, we can do Python ven. I guess either one will work. Oh no. That won't actually work. How do I open a virtual environment in Python? Gosh, I'm a freaking noob. Like I said, I always just use pip-x when I'm installing stuff. Blah, blah, it should be installed. Oh, thanks, Nefos. You're the king. Now, I'll explain a little bit what's going on for those of you who are noobs like me. The purpose of a virtual environment is because we're going to install such old, this is from 7 years ago, right? We don't want to install it on our base machine, although that would be possible because you're probably going to break some stuff. If you do a virtual environment, it's almost like running a VM in your Python code so it doesn't break the rest of it. Nefels, let me know if I explained that okay. Let's see if this works. Urgent. Fail building wheel for PyCrypto. I don't know what the frick that means. We need a specific version of PyCrypto installed. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Try this. Try it like that. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, I still get the error. Even in the virtual environment. So let's do let's take a snapshot. We'll call it YOLO, and then we'll break our Python environment, and we'll just see what happens. Shouldn't take too long to take a snapshot. This is so I can flip back to it real quick for when it does break my Python environment. Or you know what we could do? Let's go like this. Let's see if we can do it this way. Fails every time even doing that. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Home, Tyler, Pon Labs, TeamCity. And what was this? Decrypt2.py? No, we cd TeamCity unscrambler. All right, first let's try this. Which I do have the PyCrypto DOM installed. At least it should be now. I remember installing it. And let's nano unscrambler 2.py. Oh, I spelled unscrambler wrong. That's cool. Did I actually get it to work? Using my weird ChatGPT way? Is that my secret key? It very well might be, ladies and gentlemen. Gosh. Thank you, GPT, for modifying that. I should put that on my GitHub for the future people who run into this issue. All right. Moment of truth. Let's do AWS configure profile. I don't know what to call it. We'll call it unscramble. And we'll pass it that access key ID right there. Our secret access key. Although I think that was in US West too, wasn't it? Let's just do AWS STS get caller identity profile unscramble. Oh my goodness, it worked, y'all. It freaking worked. Amazing. Amazing. We had ChatGPT rewrite it, fix the old Python code, and we were able to unscramble the secret key and get access to this TeamCity user. Now the question is, what can we do with the TeamCity user? If we go back to this, what was this doing here? Issue temporary. We could I guess we could mess with the rotating keys. After I figure this out, I actually want to play with this. Once I finish the lab, I want to keep playing with this. There's a few more things I want to check because I'm curious about some alternative ways of doing this. I was just wondering if this was showing me like what I'm supposed to have access to. Could just do AWS S3 LS profile unscramble region US West 2. Okay, so I don't know what permissions our user has per se. We could do AWS. We could just do this. Is Paku still open? No, I don't think so. We could run. We could brute force permissions, run IAM, and then we'll do some manual enumeration as well. IAM brute force permissions. And so here's where, like, once again, someone asked if this would be noisy. Absolutely. You can see all these calls that it's making. But while it does that, we're going to do some other stuff. We go to JetGPT. Actually, I think IAM enumeration. Maybe Hacktrix Cloud. All right, so some things I want to try. We could try Don't really know our role. Well, just trying to figure out what these AWS creds are for. Obviously, it's for this TeamCity. It gives us access to probably an S3 bucket, but I can't list S3 buckets. Paku will eventually tell us, but it will take a little bit as it tries to brute force every single role. AWS IAM. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Yeah, Virginia's US East, but I believe the EC2 was in US West too, wasn't it? Here, I can do Paku session Yeah, US West 2. That's what I'm thinking. Anything else I need to find is also probably in US West 2. Let's try this maybe. Oops. Okay, so we can't do that. We try AWS IAM get user. AWS IAM get user, and we pass it the username. Freaking hate the syntax for AWS CLI. So I can't get user either. I don't have too many permissions. Oh, in global settings it's mentioned North Virginia. Okay, good to know. I still can't do anything though, because our username doesn't seem to have too many permissions. Let's try attach user policies. TeamCity, profile unscramble. We can check our groups, I guess, as well. We'll eventually get this, y'all. TeamCity, profile unscramble. Nope. Oh, that's a group name, which we don't have our group name. We can't even get our role. The frick am I supposed to do? Paku is still trying to brute force. Let's look around at this. I bet there's some type of hint here. And yeah, you're right. It is the US East. Good call there. But even then, what does this account do? Do we have any hints? Let's go look back at this. Access key, external ID, US East. Oh, look at that. It was right in front of me the whole time. So it says right there in the config. Someone was probably yelling at the screen in the recording because they saw that and like, when is Tyler going to see this? This account has access to this S3 bucket. So I bet if I do something like this, AWS S3, LS S3, that bucket, profile unscramble, boom. Flag.txt. We'll copy it out. Yo, and there we go. We have the flag. Oh, I think it wants me to re-authenticate. Hold up. It doesn't think I'm a human. I promise you I'm a human. Boom. All right. I got a little tripped up there. Fell down some rabbit holes, but I eventually got the flag. But before we close this out, there's actually a few other ways I want to test this. So first, could I have just uploaded an SSH key here? Oh no, maybe not. How does this work? Let's read about this a little bit. TeamCity. You know, I did it via the terminal. Is how I ended up doing it. but could I just upload my private key and would it automatically replicate on the server? TeamCity supports keys and PEM. Keys that use different formats need to be converted. Upload. Projects, click. Okay, so I get that. Uploaded keys are stored there. TeamCity tracks this directory. And then can I just... I mean, interesting. Hold up. So if I want to generate a private key, if you need a private or public key for your new generated key, a private key is stored there. Let's check that out. So that's our data directory. Already there. And it's stored in plugin data. Oh, and there's a private key for Tyler. But this doesn't actually give me access as a root user to that. So then do I need to assign that private key to an agent? It says unused. Let's see. Do I then assign that to an agent? I suppose it doesn't really matter because you can just open the terminal there. So I think the way I did it makes the most sense. View audit log, clean sources, build history. You know, it's kind of like the beyond root part. Let's see what we can find. Logs. So we could have looked at logs that wouldn't have really been helpful for us. Parameters. Suppose this would be another good thing to check, right? We can see parameters and environmental variables. There could always be a chance that creds are left in environmental variables. We see that often, even in the real world. Configuration parameters. Nothing too interesting there. Well, very interesting. That was a fun machine. I really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I learned a lot even falling into my silly rabbit hole. And I think it was really fun that we got to use a brand new exploit that is kind of in the news right now. But let's spend some time and let's look at what the intended path was. So I'm just going to skim through this, right? TeamCity is popular. Of course it is. And we see that in the news today. And yeah, we do that. And they actually use Paku here. And so they're actually running the command I was just running. They're brute forcing the permissions in the beginning. And so we could see, hey, we could do S3, EC2, and logs based on our user. Scroll up. But that's not super helpful for what we were doing. But this one you would have saw you could do EC2. I just kind of guessed it was EC2 because if TeamCity is running on it, it's likely an EC2. So we describe instances, and I just grepped for my instance with the private IP, and that worked for me. Otherwise, you could do it this way. We log in. Oh, so it was... Hold up, TeamCity, it is used to automate the process. A quick Google search or ChatGPT query reveals that the default port, navigating this port reveals the TeamCity login page. However, common login stations don't give us access. So how did they get access? Oh, so EC2 user data has been configured. Interesting. So user data is like scripts. We actually abused this in a lab I released last week about abusing EC2 user data. And I actually see this once again in AWS pen tests. I see this pretty often where people are storing credentials in the user data, like for the machine. So this is actually very real world. And we could try actually a Paku module on this. Let me import keys TeamCity and search EC2, download user data. Let's run EC2, download user data. And can I do a region US West 2 just to save time? No. I don't know if that'll work. Okay. Run EC2 enum region US West 2. Okay. And now if we do what? Well, I thought the data's there. Data not found. Run module EC2 enum to fetch it. I did run EC2 enum. I mean, in a real world environment, yes, you'd want to hit every region, but the only reason I don't want to is just for the sake of time. But the other thing we could attempt, which I don't think will work, because you probably don't have permissions, is using something like Prowler. With Prowler, you can also hunt for data. Show this to you guys. I use this in actual pen tests all the time, Prowler. A really cool secret finding tool built into it. So, but generally to run Prowler, you need read-only permissions, but to the entire tenant. Let's do pipx. Which I'm not going to have with this this account just has permissions to enumerate EC2s. Hey, what up, Haircut Fish? Good to have you here. We actually finished this lab, and we're kind of doing a beyond root, going a little bit deeper and digging into stuff. But we did finish the machine successfully, but now I'm doing just some exploring. All right, Prowler's installing. And so with Prowler, we'll pass it our profile, blah, 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 blah. I think it's Prowler secrets EC2. Let's see. Not that. There's a secrets thing in Prowler. I used it. Detect secrets, maybe? Yeah. So with the Detect Secrets library, to search for any secrets that are stored in plain text within your environment, specifically instance secrets user data, which it would find, right? So if I do that's not going to work. Oh, I need to open a new terminal. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm trying to do. So Prowler, and our provider is AWS. Prowler, AWS, and categories, secrets. Gosh. It's category. Yeah, categories. Okay. Profile, TeamCity. Like I said, not sure if this will work since we only have access to EC2, but this might automatically find those secrets being stored in the instance or the user data of the EC2. Now, of course, in this environment, we only have one EC2, but you can imagine a real world environment, you might have hundreds or thousands of EC2s, and you want to be able to scan all of them and look for secrets. So that's what we're trying to do here with Prowler. Areobyte, what is Prowler? Well, Prowler can probably explain it to you better than me. Prowler is an open source security tool to perform AWS, GCP, and Azure security best practices assessments, audits, instance response, continuous monitoring, hardening, and forensic readiness. I use it all the time in pen tests. So one of the things we're using it for now is to find secrets, if it actually works with our limited permissions. Oh, which I don't think it did. It's not finding the secret here. Let's go ahead and open it up. No secrets found in the user data. Well, there is secrets found in the user data. You just didn't find it. But once again, it could just be due to our limited permissions here. Okay, downloaded EC2 user data and one launch template to that. Okay. Is that in Tyler? I don't know where that's at. EC2 user data. I should know, but I don't. Oh, right there. I'm dumb. Yo, Tyler, how to read, homie. Okay, so here's our instance right there. So there you go. That's one way we could have found it. Is if we went that way, we could have used Paku to download the user data, and you can see Paku automatically converted it. So if we look back at the official walkthrough, if you did it the AWS way, you see that when you do it, you get this base 64 encoded value, and then you have to convert it. Well, Paku automatically does that work for you. And you can see it gives us the username, TeamCity, and the password, which is what would have given us access to that environment. But what we ended up doing was using the latest CVE auth bypass, creating an account that way and getting access to the environment. And so what did they do? We can try the password login to TeamCity as an admin, which failed. So that's what we were able to do, right? We did our auth bypass and had an admin account. So they SSH is TeamCity, so they must have had did they elevate their privileges after that? The users belong to groups, blah, blah. We're allowed to read log files as root. On IP, okay, so may run the following command. TeamCity is super user login mode, blah, blah. The super user is enabled by default. Calls this out, recommends disabling it. Returns the super user token, so they got the super user token that way. Okay, so cool. Theirs is much more manual. I like mine just because I use the latest CVE. Like I found an unintended way using the latest CVE that just came out 2024 for an auth bypass and created my account. And let's see, they found the same credential storage stuff I found. Except for here's where, like, once you have access here, what you can do and what I showed you is if you go to the agent, you can open up a terminal and just echo your public key to the authorized keys of the root user, and then you have root access to the EC2. So some cool priv-esque going on there, not just to the TeamCity thing, but once you have this developer access here, you can run scripts as root, which you can kind of see that they're going on here. They're just doing these build steps to do it. I think mine was cooler because I echoed my SSH keys in. But either way works. That's the cool thing I love about the labs on Pone Labs is there's multiple ways to do it. I learned something when I stumble through it on my own, and I learned something when I look at the walkthrough. But they're using their build scripts, and they make it so the TeamCity user is now root. So that's one way to do it. Lateral movement. All right, now that we pwned it, we can move laterally to S3 bucket. This is where I really fell into a rabbit hole. Yeah, so I was looking at this. Yes, but that key doesn't work anymore, right? It just uses all TeamCity encrypted secret server with ZXXX. Oh wait, so is this the same for all versions of it? So that still is the hard-coded decryption key. Interesting. They never actually fixed that. And yeah, we found that. And what I like about the way I approached it is we actually went, the only reason I discovered where this was at is reading the actual documentation from TeamCity themselves, figuring out where these credentials might be stored is how I found that. And then they use that decryption script right there. Oh, and there's that TeamCity Unscrambler script that I think Nefos shared. But mine didn't work. I had to use ChatGPT to update it because it wasn't working properly. But hey, I still got it to work. And then, of course, we got our flag. All right, let's look at defense. As with many security issues, there was a combination of bad practices and using default settings that contributed to weakening the security of the TeamCity server. To begin with, the server admins exposed the password of the TeamCity database user in the EC2 user data field. User data is base64 encoded, and we had permission to access it. Then there was the issue of password reuse, which is a very common bad practice. This allowed us to gain access to the server locally as the unprivileged user TeamCity. However, it turns out that our user had read access to the TeamCity server log file. Any user that has this permission should be considered privileged as they are able to log in the TeamCity server as a super user account. This super user account should ideally have been disabled by specifying a property. The properties are stored there. This is a Java properties file, blah, blah. Another issue was that the build agent was installed locally on the TeamCity server, which allowed us to execute commands in the context of root. Yes. Once in the server as root, we could easily decrypt. All right, it took me quite a bit of time to figure out how to do it. The TeamCity secrets, however, it is possible to use a custom encryption key instead of the fixed key, which we actually saw when we were looking at TeamCity documentation. That's what they recommended, which may slow an attacker down. TeamCity could also be configured to use external authentication instead of local accounts, so knowing that we are able to compromise the network account, we may get access to other infrastructure resources. And those are actually all things we kind of looked at. So this Russia cyber attack, was it based on this? Well, it's freaking stupid New York Times. We kind of stumbled across that, but even now, guys, this is in the news again. So let's look that up now. TeamCity, we'll just type TeamCity. I bet it's going to come up if we go to news. Look at this. 2 days ago, this is hot off the press. Bean Leon, threat actors exploit JetBrains TeamCity flaws in ransomware attacks. They're using the exact attack I just used, which is crazy. If you're watching this and want to watch my video for ransomware, just don't do it. Become a real pen tester. The threat actors behind that ransomware have been observed to exploit security flaws in JetBrains TeamCity software, the exact thing we just did. Wow. The attack chain observed details the exploitation of vulnerable TeamCity using those CVEs, which is the CVE I used myself. I don't have it there, but it was that CVE. To gain initial access, followed by creating new users, which is what I did, and execute malicious scans for post-exploitation lateral movement. It's currently not clear which of the two flaws are weaponized, blah, blah. Go after multiple failed login attempts to execute their standard. The threat actor pivoted to living off the land and leveraging PowerShell implementation of their backdoor, which provides an almost identical functionality to what they would have with their Go backdoor. How many of you guys bet that they took their Go backdoor and sent it to ChatGPT and said, rewrite this in PowerShell, and then they used it? I bet that's what they did. The obfuscated PowerShell backdoor It's designed to establish a TCP socket for additional network communication. The now confirmed backdoor is able to communicate with the command and control server and asynchronously execute based on the remote attacker's post-exploitation objectives. The disclosure comes as Voncheck detailed fresh POCs, exploits for critical security flaws, blah, blah. Flaws when weaponized to deployed Cerber? Wow. Well, very interesting, very much realistic what we just did. It's so realistic, it's literally in the news today about this exploit being used to compromise TeamCity and then deploy ransomware. So, hey, patch yo stuff, my friends. And this won't happen to you. But hey, y'all, for those of you watching this video after the fact on YouTube, I want to thank you for going through this lab with me on Pone Labs. Hope you learned something new in the process. And hey, once again, if you are not subscribed to Pone Labs as a premium subscriber, do it. It's $20 a month. It is clearly well worth your money. These are, hands down, the best labs that I have found for learning AWS, Azure, and GCP pen testing without spending thousands of dollars or having some enterprise license on some other platform. So hey, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. All right, y'all, now I'm just here with y'all on live stream. What did you guys think of that? I thought that was a really fun lab. Check out chat over on LinkedIn. What up, Mark? Over on LinkedIn, Ritu. How are we doing, y'all? We got 16. Okay, let's, what time is it? 9:50? Well, I already have Pone Labs open up. Let me jump back over to Pone Labs. Close out all my windows. I'll go back to share my screen shortly. I think we'll take maybe a 5-minute break before we dive into something new. Red AWS. Do 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 do. Okay, so let me kill my machine. I think what we'll do for the last little bit of our stream is we'll do one of their guided rooms. I've been doing a lot of the CTF rooms, right? Where it's like the black box approach, but they also have guided rooms where it's not for a CTF approach. It's more of like, hey, we're going to work through this together and learn what we can learn through it. And I think we'll do one of those about some cross-site scripting type things using some web app and S3 buckets. We could also do exploit Jenkins in the cloud. That might be fun as well. 1 second. Let me just close out TeamCity. I can't spawn multiple labs. There, turn that lab off. Maybe we'll do the Jenkins one because I was halfway through the Jenkins ones in the past, but there used to be some issues with the VPN, but it's now fully resolved. But that made me stop doing the Jenkins one. I kind of want to go back and do it since I started it and see what we can figure out. So actually, let's do that. I'm speaking out loud. Let's do the Jenkins one. Turn the lab on. You already have it. I don't already have a spawn machine. I terminated it. All right, give me a second, y'all. And that was a free room, no grommet. I believe what we just did was one of the premium labs. Oh, Pone Team, it's in the process of terminating. Okay, well, let's maybe take a 5-minute break, and at the end of our 5-minute break, it'll be terminated, and I can launch the next room. Let me find some music for you guys. We'll get some music turned on in the background. Here we go. I like this playlist. All right, guys, let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. How am I doing on time? About 10 o'clock. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. Wow, that room took me longer than I was expecting it to, but hey, we learned a lot in the process. But let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back and see if we can knock out exploiting Jenkins in the cloud, a similar lab, but I think we'll have some more fun here. All right, 5-minute break. Stay tuned. We'll be coming right back. Just made it back. What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your 5-minute break. Let me get chat pulled back up. What am I planning to do for April 1st? No idea. I don't have any plans yet. I don't know if anyone remembers my April 1st joke from last year, but I thought it was awesome. Here's what I did. I made a video titled like, I'm speaking at DEF CON or something like that. And in the beginning of the video, failed. In the beginning of the video, I did like a full introduction. Like I was like, hey everyone, I'm super excited to share with you that I'm speaking at DEF CON this year. My first year going, and I get to lead one of the workshops, and here's what the workshop's gonna be about. And then it split over to a Rickroll right there. So the coolest thing about it is you couldn't tell it was a Rickroll by going to the video because I legit added my own introduction and everything, but then it led to a Rickroll. And the funniest thing is I had so many people saying, oh, congratulations, Tyler, because they didn't watch the video. They just saw on LinkedIn, Tyler speaking at DEF CON. So I ended up deleting the video from my YouTube channel because so many people just saw the name of it without watching it. They didn't realize it was a joke. So that was my attempt at an April 1st joke. All right, I was able to launch this other lab. I'm still clearing some things out here. Give me just a second, y'all. Cleaning things up from our last lab. All right, terminal. Okay. Check the description to start poning. Here's my screen, but it is spawning. Don't know how long that'll take, but maybe once I make it through an introduction. Actually, I don't really want to start recording for YouTube until I can get this fully up. Okay. See if I can hit this. Boom. Beautiful. All right. We'll do an introduction for YouTube, and then we'll dive into stuff. Get a drink of water. Yeah, you probably can do it in reverse Oreo bite. But I mean, like, that's the same with a lot of cloud labs because of the way they're set up. There's ways to bypass it or go quick, but you're short-circuiting, right, the learning process. Like, it's always best to look at it from a cloud perspective and try to do it from that perspective. All right. Here we go. Let me start recording, and I'll do a quick intro. Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. My name is Tyler, and in this video, we're going to continue working through Pon Labs. Now, if you're new to Pon Labs, you need to check it out. Pon Labs, hands down, is the best platform today for learning pen testing in the cloud. Whether it's AWS, Azure, or GCP, the cool thing about Pon Labs is it's kind of like try Hack Me or Hack the Box, but all for the cloud and for individuals. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was trying to learn cloud pen testing, my issue is every platform I went to required thousands of dollars or an enterprise license or hundreds of dollars to get initial setup. There was nothing that was like for individuals and that was affordable. Well, introducing Pone Labs. It's a new platform. They have over 30 completely free labs covering Azure, AWS, and GCP, and even a premium subscription is only $20 a month, which is super affordable to learn hands-on cloud pen testing. In this video, I'm going to showcase one of their premium labs, so you do need a premium license to follow along. But hey, if you don't have one, you can live vicariously through me. Watch me work through it. I'll try to explain what I'm doing, and you can make a decision whether or not a Pone Labs subscription is worth it for you. But I really do think it is worth it. This is called Exploit Jenkins in the Cloud. Let's go ahead and dive into things. So here we go. Exploit Jenkins in the cloud. We provided with an entry point IP, and here's the scenario. During our security assessment for a huge logistics, you've been handed various IP addresses related to the infrastructure. One IP address in particular seems interesting. Your task is to investigate this IP, exploit vulnerabilities, and escalate your permissions within their AWS environment. Every finding will help the company bolster their defenses. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's open up our notes. And we'll call this one Jenkins in the cloud. There we go. And we're given an IP address to start with. So we'll just give it our target and our scenario. And we'll just copy this from our scenario. It's kind of like our scope. This is what we're focused on, what we're not focused on. And we will just make that H1. Drop this down here. Make that, whoops. H1, and knowing that's our target, the first thing I want to do, since we're just given an IP, is let's go ahead and scan this IP and see what ports are open. Now, there's various tools you can do this for, but a few weeks ago, y'all sold me on RustScan, and I really am enjoying it. The cool thing about RustScan is it will scan really fast and then pass the results to Nmap, and then you can do some custom Nmap stuff there. So what I'm going to do is type RustScan -A. That means, hey, here's the target I want you to attack. There's our IP, and --. Now here we can specify the Nmap flag. So whatever ports are open, what I want you to do is use the -A, which means throw all the enumeration scripts at it, and we will hit enter. Now, so right away we see that port 22 is open. Probably not going to be super useful unless we can get some type of credentials. Port 22 is SSH, our secure shell. And so if we get credentials, we might be able to get access to the machine that way. And port 8080, knowing the name of the box is Jenkins in the cloud, that's probably Jenkins. But what RustScan is doing right here, y'all can go to this link. If you want to take over TryHackMe, go to admin.tryhackme.com. That's the admin portal. You can be the TryHackMe hacker. But that was fast. Let me back up a little bit. The way I used to do this before is I used to Nmap scan every port and then do -A on the open ports. Well, this is doing it for me. It's using RustScan to scan all the ports. Then it's passing the open ports to Nmap using the -A flag on those two ports and then giving us the output. And you can see it right here. So let's go ahead and grab this output. We'll copy that, go back over to Cherry Tree. Okay, that's cool. I'm pretty sure I copied it. There we go. And we'll go ahead and switch it over to code syntax highlighting. And we'll separate these out so it looks a little bit neater. And as usual, I'm going to make separate cherry nodes for each service that's running, just so as we enumerate those services, we'll keep our notes straight. Not as important for something like this since there's only 2 services running, but I will say for those of you who are doing the OSCP, this is a vital skill because sometimes you'll have 8, 9, 10 services open, and if you split them up in this way, it'll make your life a lot easier as you enumerate different services. You can jump back and see, hey, here's what I found in this service, here's what I found in this service. It'll make your life easier. Trust me. All right, but we have port 8080 open here. We can see based on the HTTP title that this is going to be Jenkins. So let's just go ahead and open it up and see what we are working with. We'll grab our IP, we'll go HTTP, pass it in there, port 8080. And there we go, we have unauthenticated access to Jenkins from what I can see. We got Reckless Gizmo over in Twitch. What up, Elite Hacksaw? What up, Reckless Gizmo? Glad you recognize game, right? Hackers recognize hackers. So this is actually a major finding right away. If we were doing an internal pen test and we discovered that Jenkins was enabled without any type of authentication, this is a huge deal. You do not want to have your Jenkins instance exposed without authentication. So let's go ahead and grab a screenshot of that. This will be enough to prove that. And we'll say, critical finding, Jenkins has no authentication. Right? And there's evidence that Jenkins has no authentication. And we'll do that. Okay. So from Jenkins, there's a lot of things that we can do, but the most interesting thing usually is, I think it's script or scripts. And from here, we can actually get command execution on the server. Now, you can Google like Jenkins. But the issue I've had in the past is the way these things do it. First, a reverse shell won't work because of the ingress rules on this machine. So I know that you can try reverse shell, it's not going to work for you. But even if you try to get code execution on it, it doesn't work properly. You can usually do command input like ls, but you can't echo anything because it's not a standard shell. It doesn't take the standard input in and put it out into a file. And so actually, I remember when I was messing with Jenkins RCE in the past, I had that issue. So if we go to GitHub Tenebrae 93, okay, github.com. Let's try that. There's me. Offensive security. I dropped a script here. So if you're following along yourself, you can either try to make this on your own, but here is what I did. So default Jenkins RC via script console does not handle strings, as that's not a full shell. This executes commands in the context of a traditional shell, so you can echo into files, aka echoing SSH keys. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We'll grab this, go over to our script console, and from here we can actually execute commands. So if we do like who am I, we'll just do that run. You can see we have it as Jenkins right there. We can ls LA, and we have access that way. I even see credentials.xml. But what I want to do right away is let's see if we can get access to the machine with SSH. So we know that our present working directory, I think this is going to be our Jenkins home folder. So let's go ahead and make a directory called SSH. All right, that should have worked. And now if we touch SSH authorized keys like that. And now let me just see if that actually worked. ls SSH. Okay, there's authorized keys. Now the cool thing, anytime you see SSH open on a box, whether it's the OSCP or a CTF, and you have RCE, I find that better than trying to get a reverse shell, if SSH is enabled, just echo your public key into the authorized keys folder of the user you want to compromise, and then rather than getting like a buggy reverse shell, you can get a stable shell with SSH. So it doesn't always work, but I would say it works most of the time. So we'll cat home Tyler SSH id.pub. There's my public key. We'll copy that public key, and we will go ahead and echo our public key, and we want to append it that way to -SSH authorized keys, run. All right, now let's see if it actually worked by catting it. Boom, and it looks like it worked. So SSH Jenkins at this IP right there. And it should automatically pass it our SSH key. Yes. Oh, there we go. So I have access here. Now, if we look at some files, and let's go back to here as well, because I really didn't spend too much time looking at this. Building in the built-in node can be a security issue, blah, blah. So we see this S3 Explorer. Go to Manage Jenkins. So when it comes to Jenkins or other CI/CD things, there's often plugins that will integrate with AWS. So you actually noticed this in my previous video when we were exploiting TeamCity, which is a CI/CD tool similar to Jenkins. In TeamCity, there was a plugin that was using actually very similar S3. This looks like it was S3 based on what I saw before, but connecting to an S3 bucket. And remember, we decrypted creds that way. So if we look at this one, oh, actually, we have some creds just in clear text to a bucket called Jenkins config load. Let's check this out real quick. We have this. We'll call this SSH, and we'll open a new tab, call it terminal, cd home, Tyler, Pon Labs. Oh, we have exploit Jenkins. So you might see this. I was originally doing this a while ago on a live stream, but was having some issues because was it a month ago, 2 months ago? There were some weird issues with the VPN for Pone Labs, but they fully fixed that. So now that it's fully fixed, I wanted to come back and actually finish this lab. But let's go ahead and do AWS configure profile Jenkins, and we'll grab this access key ID there, secret key. Let's use US East 1 and AWS S3 LS S3. I saw the name of the bucket here, this Jenkins config load. Can we actually access that? And does it have anything interesting? Okay, so it has an admin and a config.xml. Let's check out this config.xml first. We'll save it to our current directory. All right. Reckless Gizmo said, are you exclusively doing Pone Labs now on stream? No, I'm not. I am not. Tonight, I ended up doing it, but no. I'll still be doing Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, and Pone Labs. And actually, guys, my official Try Hack Me machine, my first one though, my official Try Hack Me machine releases this Friday, called Hack Smarter, where it's a hackback attack. You have to take down the Hack Smarter APT group. You have to do some AV evasion. It's going to be a fun room, but that releases on Friday. But no, I'm not exclusively doing Pone Labs, but one of my weakest areas is a cloud. And so if you follow my journey on YouTube, I'm often sharing on YouTube what I'm learning and like what I'm doing. I'd be doing this offline for my own learning, but now I'm streaming. So I'm like, yo, I'll just bring you guys into this journey with me. So one of my weaker areas is just cloud because I find it very confusing. And so that's why I'm doing a lot of Pone Labs, is to brush up on my cloud skills. Yeah, Reckless Gizmo, that's the room that gives you root access to THM servers. You got it. Sorry, this config is a test job. False task shell. Hello, today is a date. So that doesn't actually seem to do anything useful. I don't think it's going to be useful for us, but we saw admin here. Can we actually access that? Okay, let's try Jenkins backup.sh. We'll save it to our current directory. And copy. Okay, so we do not have permission to grab that. Let's go back to SSH though, because what stood out to me right away is anything that, if it's called credentials, that might just be credentials, right? That might just be something that's helpful to us. What is credentials? We have Jenkins admin AWS credentials, and similar to TeamCity, you can see they are encoded. Let's go ahead and just grab this and we'll drop it in there. So we have encoded credentials. Let's go to, so bringing back PTSD from my rabbit hole on TeamCity, but Jenkins is a lot more popular. Jenkins decode. Let's just do that. Yeah. I've taken over the project where a lot of Jenkins has passwords, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's what we have. And Jenkins go to script page, and that's actually this right here. That's where I was originally doing all my commands at. And run the following command. Okay. And we'll grab our encoded credentials there. I don't think it's only base 64. Here, we'll check. Because if we do... See, it's more than base 64 encoded. I don't know what kind of encoding it is, but it's specific to Jenkins, I believe. So very similar to TeamCity, honestly. Boom. That decoded it for us. So now if we do AWS configure profile, we'll just call it admin. This is probably a different CTF I was doing. The old admin creds there. And we can grab the access key ID from right here. And we will grab our secret from right here. And once again, for those of you who might be new to AWS, when you see AWS, this access key and the secret, think username and password. That's kind of what this is. It gives us authentication that we can interact with the AWS environment via the CLI or the command line interface. And we do that by saving our credentials to a profile here. And that's what I'm doing here. It's fine. And now, if we go back to that bucket we were trying to get access to, this Jenkins backup, instead of using the Jenkins profile, let's use the admin profile we just set up. And I wonder... Okay. So now we have this dev.pem user, I suppose here. This There's a few things we can try. One, let's just try to SSH as this dev person and see if we're prompted for a password, since we have a password there, and it doesn't work. It wants us to have a key, but remember, we have access to it. I just want to save our stuff there. Do we have any other users here? So this is on the actual EC2. Cat etc password. Oh, so dev is a user here. So can I switch over to dev? And then can I use their password here? No. Oh, it was the root password. Okay. So we see another case of password reuse, which once again, it's super common even in the real world. People reuse their passwords all the time. I discovered this on pen tests all the time as well. When you find one password that works, you use crackmap exec, or now netmap exec, to spray it across the AD environment. And once you find that one password, you have like 8 accounts that you now have pwned. So this is actually really common. So whenever I find a password, the first thing that I try to do is just use it on every account that I can think of. Odd that doesn't work on the dev user, since we do have a dev user on the machine, but I suppose this is actually the passphrase for their key, not necessarily like the actual dev's password. So if we found this dev.pem, we could use that key to get access to it. So I think the dev user probably has access to the root account as well, and they're reusing that password for the root account, as well as using the password to get access to their private key there. At least that would be my guess. But now we have access as root. And that's the machine. That was a lot easier than the TeamCity one. Let me go ahead and submit that flag so I get credit for it. And there we go. We submitted it. But now I'm curious. There was something I wanted to try. To combat password reuse, Reckless Gizmo says, I'm using password plus whatever service I'm using. That's a great idea. Like password Jenkins, password TeamCity, password Pon Labs, password try hack me, password hack the box. That's actually, and that's how I use my bank account, Reckless Gizmo. My bank account password is just password bank account. Therefore, I don't have password reuse across any of it. That's a genius idea. You should definitely become like a consultant, help organizations with that. On the script console, I don't remember what I wanted to investigate. I had something in mind when I was poking at stuff that I wanted to dig deeper into, but I'm not seeing it. But anyways, let's look at the official walkthrough and see what we have here. So Jenkins servers can be attractive targets for malicious users. Yes, they absolutely can be. And like it's RCE as a service. We discovered that in the Try Hack Me rooms that we were doing. Remember the couple of Try Hack Me rooms on CI/CD integration? So yeah, we did that. We found the Jenkins instance. Click on Manage Jenkins, S3 Explorer, which we discovered that. We tried to download the admin stuff. It didn't work from that. And yeah, that config is basically useless. Oh, and I didn't even see this. So if you actually go to credentials, there was the admin account there. I just noticed it once I had SSH access. I saw credentials.xml. Anything that's called credentials, I find interesting. Oh, so if you inspect the page, you could actually see it there. Oh, that's interesting. So I really did do it a different way. I got full SSH access to it first. But if you just right-click inspect, you can see the hidden password. That's kind of what I did on the TeamCity lab. See, that's the exact page I looked at. Yep, so you decrypt that. And then, yeah, they have that password. So you can't SSH because, well, password authentication doesn't seem to be enabled, even though it is the root password. And then Use a script console like what I did. Environment command. And then they did the similar to SSH thing, but they actually made a key. And maybe that's one way to overcome the weird issue I had in the past where I couldn't echo commands into. So either way works. Mine was a little bit different. I used my actual public key. But once again, that's a cool thing I like about Pone Labs. Multiple ways to accomplish the mission. The flag for the lab is en route. So there's many ways that the above scenario could have been prevented. The first is to permit network access to only the systems and hosts that are required, right? There shouldn't be unauthenticated access to Jenkins. The none should be replaced with something more secure, the authentication section. Under authorization, we could configure matrix-based security to assign the minimum privs needed for specific users and groups that do the work. Remember the whole principle of least privilege. We should always keep that in mind. We can also require that scripts must be approved before running. That would be a very good idea. So that even if it does get compromised, the scripts have to be improved. Also, any vulnerable plugins such as S3 Explorer should be removed, and we should ensure that Jenkins and plugins are updated regularly. In case of compromise, we should also enable logging and ideally ensure that these are securely stored off the system. It would also be better to use distributed builds and not build on the built-in node. For a more in-depth review of configuring security, the official Jenkins documentation is here. And then we have some real articles about this. Let's do a little bit of skimming here. A Jenkins miner, one of the biggest mining operations discovered. So crypto miners. So via deserialization, and then they were installing crypto miners, like a bunch of crypto miners. Interesting. DC HealthLink. Oh. Do they not have authentication enabled? Oh my goodness. Real world. The Jenkins system was configured with anonymous permissions. Come on. And then look at this. So there's logs. While those files are password protected, they found reused passwords and logs accessible by an unauthenticated user. You compromise one password, you spray it across the board, and boom. Wow. Come on. Here's some CVEs that allow anonymous users to become admins, which then you have that script execution. Anyways, just showing that like real world issue, real world problems. This lab is very real world. And that's the other thing I enjoy about Pone Labs that I sometimes get frustrated with on some other platforms, that I try to do a standalone CTF and it's like, it's very CTF-y, very puzzly. I hate, and that's a strong word, but I mean it, I hate the puzzly CTFs where it's like decrypt this freaking thing with cyberchef.io with 15 different recipes to get this secret that leads to this directory that leads to another secret you have to decrypt with some freaking Leap Python garbage. Every lab I've done on Pone Labs, very real world, very realistic. It teaches good stuff, but it's not like a silly puzzle you have to figure out. And hey, my machine that comes out and Try Hack Me this Friday also is not a silly puzzle you have to figure out. It is also very real world and realistic. But hey, y'all, hope you enjoyed us working through this Jenkins lab. Hope you found it helpful, and I will see you in the next one. All right, it's just us again, y'all. I think, I know Try Hack Me has come out with some new rooms. Let me check out these Try Hack Me rooms. For those of you who have done the recent Try Hack Me rooms, I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm actually hesitant to start something brand new right now, but I kind of want to do one of the guided rooms. I know a lot of the guided rooms have come out. I just want to learn for my own learning. Any of you recommend any of the recent Try Hack Me rooms? Show them to you. Maybe not legal considerations and DFIR, because that sounds very boring. I mean, I'm sure good stuff, but I'm not going to spend a stream going through that. Let's go to newest. I did not do the Chrome room. But I saw on Discord, do I need access to Windows to do it? Because I don't have my Windows VM booted. So I thought it said your own environment to be solved. I don't feel like booting my Windows VM. I also don't want to do like, that's not really a guided one. Well, it kind of is, I guess. Yeah, you need Windows to solve. I'll do that on another stream. I just like my Windows server is over there, not booted up at all, and I just don't feel like booting it up. So I'll plan another stream where I plan on doing that room, and I'll make sure everything is booted up. Oh, hard. Ooh. You know, I haven't done cloud-based IAC. Intro to Kubernetes. Moniker link, I did that. You know, these would be really interesting rooms. How long are these rooms? That might be quite confusing, although I want to do it. But after doing a couple of them now, my brain's just kind of tired. Can you chase a simulated adversary of the pyramid pain? We'll check this out. What is this? Legal considerations. I don't know. Guys, I think I might call it a night. My brain's tired. It doesn't feel like thinking anymore after doing a couple of challenges. But I've been on stream now for almost 3 hours as well. So there's that. Here, I'll give you guys a sneak peek, though, of my room coming out on Friday. Let me get it pulled up here. Maybe I'll even launch it. I'll give you guys a glimpse of my room, okay? Secret glimpse. Don't tell anyone. Let me launch the machine. Defender is enabled on my room, yeah. You are correct. I actually kind of released this room to the Work Smarter community quite a while ago, so if you're part of that community, you might remember this room. I'll share my screen in a second. I need to get connected to the TryHackMe VPN. Your tool should still work, OreoBite. The nice thing about TryHackMe rooms is like frozen in time, right? So if your tool worked then, it will work now. The room doesn't like update with Defender. It's frozen in time from when I created it. Okay, y'all, so this is my room that will be an official TryHackMe release on Friday. So I'll read to you the description. Your mission is to infiltrate the web server of the notorious HackSmarter APT Advanced Persistent Group. This group is known for conducting malicious cyber activities, and it's imperative that we gather intel on their upcoming targets. The HackSmarter APT operates a well-protected web server fortified with advanced security measures. Your objective is to compromise their server undetected, extract the list of upcoming targets, and leave no trace of your presence. To begin, you will need to employ your extensive hacking skills and exploit any vulnerabilities in their server's defenses. Remember, stealth and discretion are key. You must avoid triggering any alarms that could lead to a premature shutdown of the server or alert the HackSmarter APT group to your presence. Once you gain access to their server, navigate through their intricate network infrastructure, bypassing firewalls, encryption protocols, and other security layers. Locate the central repository where they store sensitive information, including their upcoming target list. Intel has reported this is located on the desktop of the administrator user, but exercise caution as you retrieve the list. The HackSmarter APT group is known for employing countermeasures such as intrusion detection systems and advanced monitoring tools. It's crucial that you maintain a low profile and avoid leaving any traces that could compromise the mission or endanger your own safety. Upon successfully acquiring the list of upcoming targets, transmit the data to our secure server using encrypted channels, blah, 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 blah. So, 2 flags, user.txt, and then the root flag is what organizations is the HackSmarter group targeting next. So not just root.txt, but a list of organizations that they are targeting. And there are some kind of Easter eggs there because some of those organizations are actually other CTFs I have created that will be coming out on the TryHackMe platform in the near future. The difficulty is medium. is the official difficulty for this room. And let's see if the web server is pulled up, if I can even ping this beast. It's also a Windows machine, my friend, so but we can still ping it. It is Windows, so it's not your typical like Linux boot to root, making it a little bit difficult. You have to brush up on some of your Windows skills to get access. Here you go. Hack Smarter Security. Welcome to Hack Smarter Sec. We are a group of black hat hackers who decided to take a break from ransomware to improve your company's security. If you landed on this page, it's because we hacked you or you want us to hack someone else with our elite hacker skills. This part was inspired by the good old group LOLSec back in the day, laughing at your security. Whether you need to get revenge on your past employer or get access to your girlfriend's social media account, you're in the right place. All right, learn more. I already read that. Hackers for hire. Right, you can fill this out and hack, but your goal is to take down their web server, get access to it, and see if you can identify HackSmarter's upcoming targets. Neffel says, looks like ads from the dark web. Yeah, I was inspired by some of that. Like I was watching John Hammond's when John Hammond was exploring the dark web, some of those really cheesy like hackers for hire, that's part of what inspired some of my writing in this room. But yeah, this comes out Friday, guys. I'm super excited for this to be an official room. I actually have a few other rooms, and since we're on this note, I'll show you my other rooms that I have that will be coming out in the future. I'll give you guys kind of a sneak peek at those. We'll end my stream by just giving you guys sneak peeks of different rooms I've made. Silver plan. All right. Grab this link. All right. So here are some other, I don't have a release date for these rooms yet. The one I'm going to show you now has passed QA. And so it's fully ready to be released. They just haven't given it a release date for it. And so this is my second machine. I have a total of 3 that will be coming out on the Try Hack Me platform. And I just realized I left the flag in one of these. So I need to make sure I don't show the flag. So it's not Hack the Box Super Nuts, it's Try Hack Me. But yeah, all my Try Hack Me rooms are free. The creator has a choice to make it free or subscriber only, and of course I'm going to make them free. So all of my Try Hack Me machines will be completely free for anyone to do. All right, here is the other one. This one's called CyberLens. So welcome to the clandestine world of CyberLens, where shadows dance amid the digital domain and metadata reveals the secrets that lie concealed within every image. As you embark on this thrilling journey, prepare to unveil the hidden matrix of information that lurks beneath the surface, blah, blah, blah. At CyberLens, we believe that every pixel holds a story, and it's our mission to decipher those stories and extract the truth. Join us on this exciting adventure as we navigate the digital landscape and uncover the hidden narratives that await us at every turn. Can you exploit the CyberLens web server and discover the hidden flags? Right? So if we go here, and we need to add this to, you can even see it down here. Although I probably already have that. Let me just do it myself. Okay, and we'll see if it's up. Oh, it's trying to use port 80, dog. What? It's not up. The web server's not up. What the heck? Maybe I have to come back and mess with this room. It seems like the web server is not launching. There should be a web server running. At least I'm pretty sure. It's actually been a while since I messed with this room, but there should be a web server running. Maybe I'll give it a second, but it shouldn't take too long. I have to look back at my notes. Looking at chat. Would you ever make a machine that used something else other than Defender, like Bitdefender or some other cybersecurity solution for a THM box? Personally, no. And the reason for that is I think Windows Defender is just much more likely to come across it. And Windows Defender, in my opinion, is actually a lot better than some of those other software. So bypassing Defender is really takes some thinking and research. Does sub-only give you a cut? No. So the reason people would make sub-only machines is there's certain features in the machine that you can't have unless it's only for subscribers. So like there's some internet stuff with the attack box that I'm trying to remember that only works for subscribers only. And so to make a free room, you sometimes have to do a little more work. Like I actually had to change some stuff about my room so that it would work for all users, not just subscribers. But I don't even remember off the top of my head what those things are. Oh, hey, now the web server's up. It just took a little bit. And I think I even said wait 5 minutes before like trying to go to stuff. There we go. And here's my other CTF, right? Welcome to the clandestine world of CyberLens, blah, 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 blah. You can see our CyberLens image extractor. And so you can upload an image and it will give you the metadata. I don't know if I have any images. Here we could just like download this image. Save. We'll see if this works. Downloads. Might take a second. I don't know if there's really anything else. Is there a contact us page? Yeah, and get in touch. There's the image extractor. And there you go. You can actually see it pulled the metadata out of the image. That's the CyberLens image extractor. So you upload any image you want, it pulls the metadata out. And once again, your goal is to exploit this and get access to it. So that's one CTF. I'll show you guys one more CTF that I created before we sign off. All right, it is launching now. And I also have the flags in this one, so I need to be careful how I do it. But y'all may have remembered a while ago, I released my first 8 CVEs and something called Silver Peas. So you might think silver platter, maybe you have to look at some of the CVEs I have released. So actually this room, really excited about whenever this one comes out because all of it's based on CVEs I personally discovered and researched. So I made a CTF based on my own CVEs. So welcome to Silver Platter. Think you've got what it takes to outsmart the Hack Smarter security team? Remember those people? They claim to be unbeatable, and now it's your chance to prove them wrong. Dive into their web server, find the hidden flags, and show the world your elite hacking skills. Good luck, and may the best hacker win, but beware, this won't be a walk in the digital park. Hack Smarter Security has fortified the server against common attacks, and their password policy requires passwords that have not been breached. They check against the Rocky.txt word list. That's how cool they are. That should be a hint when you do this. Cool. Think about cool. The hacking gauntlet has been thrown and it's time to elevate your game. Remember, only the most ingenious will rise to the top. May your code be swift, your exploits be flawless, and may victory be yours. Let's see if this web server is up yet. And it is. You didn't pick up on that, Reckless Gizmo? The cool. So Hack Smarter Security is an organization dedicated to helping you improve your organization's security. We are the best in the business, regularly helping major clients such as the NSA with their elite hacking skills. Let's see our intro. ChatGPT wrote this. All right, y'all. Born out of the clandestine gathering of elite hackers, Hack Smarter Security operates on the cutting edge of technology, pushing the boundaries of what is thought to be possible in the digital landscape. The members, often referred to as the elitist hackers, boast unparalleled skills in exploiting vulnerabilities, executing precision attacks, and navigating the intricate web of cyberspace. Known for their strategic brilliance, Hack Smarter Security has become a beacon for those who seek to challenge their own limits. Blah, 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 blah. If we go to what's work? We hack you before the real bad guys do. If you don't pay us, then we become the real bad guys, so don't forget to pay your invoice. If you're curious about our elite hacking skills and want to see them at work, visit our super secret YouTube channel. Where do you think this goes to, ladies and gentlemen? Well, of course, it goes to my personal YouTube channel. I have to always self-promote in each opportunity I get. But once again, this will be an official Try Hack Me release in the future. And here's the story. So embark on the legendary saga of Hack Smarter Security, a brainchild meticulously crafted in the crucible of ambition by none other than the infamous maestro of the digital realm, Tyler Ramsbey. Picture this. A clandestine inception unfolding in the bowels of Tyler's basement, which is where I'm at now, where the flicker of computer screens dance in rhythm with the heartbeat of cutting-edge hacking endeavors. Driven by insatiable thirst for cyber diamonds, Tyler Ramsbey, the renegade genius, birthed Hack Smarter Security from the very essence of his try-hard, OffSec spirit. The basement, a crucible of innovation, witnessed the forging of a cyber empire that stands as a testament to Tyler's unyielding commitment to the pursuit of digital excellence. Brace yourself for a narrative that transcends the ordinary, where every keystroke in that basement reverberates with the echoes of a try-hard journey towards the zenith of hacking prowess. Welcome to the epicenter of hacking innovation, where Hack Smarter Security emerged from the shadows, driven by the relentless try-hard ethos of its enigmatic founder, Tyler Ramsbey. Too much fun, y'all, with these. But I will say, here's another hint. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please reach out to our project manager on Silverpiece. His name is Script Kitty, right? So some hints there. I know, great OPSEC. I have no OPSEC. That's why my YouTube is my full name. But all of the CTFs here that I've created, Silver Platter, CyberLens, Hack Smarter, none of them are puzzles. I hope when you guys get an opportunity to do them, you'll find that they are much more realistic. It's based on real things that I see when I'm pen testing. There's no silly puzzles, no silly CyberChef BS crap that you have to do. All very realistic, real world exploits that you will do. So Hack Smarter Security is this Friday. CyberLens will be coming after that at some point in time. And then Silver Platter is my most recent one that I created. And so I don't have a release date on that. It still has to go through the QA process, but everything works flawlessly on it. So I'm not too concerned about that. But all right, y'all. Been on for about 3 hours. If anyone has questions about careers pen testing, feel free to ask them. I'll hang around for a little bit, although I'm getting over a cold. I don't know if you hear me sniffling, but I've had a cold for like a week now. Annoying. I'm gonna close up my VM and stuff. Am I streaming it on Friday? I haven't decided. Maybe. I kind of wanted to give people an opportunity to do it on their own, but I guess they still do, because I wouldn't stream till Friday night. So yeah, I'll probably jump in here on Friday night and I'll stream Hack Smarter Security and explain all my reasoning and thought process behind it. Honestly, need to revisit myself because I created that machine a long time ago, like a year ago. So it's been a while since I personally have done the Hack Smarter machine. But yeah, I'm excited for those to come out. The other person I talked to, if we can line something up, is Alex from TCM Security, who streams a lot of stuff there, is maybe doing a co-stream where I would jump on his stream and that he would attempt my Hack Smarter Security room or machine on Try Hack Me while I'm on stream with him and like kind of guide him through a little bit, see what rabbit holes he falls down into. So I think that would be a lot of fun, hanging out with the TCM team and working through that machine together with Alex. So we might be doing that sometime next week as well. We'll see. Sure, I'm not missing anything on LinkedIn. I apologize on LinkedIn if you leave a comment. I always have to refresh to see it. All right, y'all. Yeah, thank you, Oreo Bite. Hopefully I can line that up. Alex mentioned it actually on stream. He was streaming today, and I was like, bruh, in the chat, like, hey, I got a machine coming out Friday. You should do it. And he's been asking me, like, I think he's asked me a few times to jump on the TCM security streaming. It just hasn't worked out. So would love to join them, though, and do some hacking together. Alex seems like a really genuine human being, genuine person. But okay, y'all, I'm going to work on getting these videos uploaded to YouTube that we shot tonight, at least these couple of videos. Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. Tomorrow night on Thursdays, usually I box, so I'm not at a computer, but I will likely be back on Friday, and maybe we'll kick off that stream doing my Hack Smarter security room and kind of explaining the thought process behind it. So be on the lookout Friday. Give it a shot yourself. Let me know if you're able to figure it out. Otherwise, I'll be back and guide you through it. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out, and I will see you in